During our trip to China, we went through a huge culture shock, visited a Tier 2 city, and became a master at utilizing the public transportation available. During our excursions in Shanghai, we went up the Pearl Tower, took a long subway ride to Qibao, and whenever we got to Beijing, we took an hour ride to the Summer Palace. Being across the world was an incredible experience, but there was two things that stood out to us, one which was the pollution, and second was the many ways that the Chinese got around within the city. In our outings, we could see out in the horizon the pollution, close and far, based on how well we could see the buildings. And at first it wasn't a serious problem, but as we visited Tianjin, there were some buildings close and far that were hard to see. And once we heard of the PM level, which is the particulate matter level, we heard that it was unhealthy but considered a good day for Tianjin. During days of a lot of pollution, the small particles in the air could be malignant during high alert days that could be threatening to your health. Only some cars are allowed to be on the road, whether it be an odd or even numbered car. Schools are shut down, and factories are suspended. Here in the United States, Bakersfield, California is considered America's worst city for air pollution, as listed in Forbes. With a PM level of 18.2, California's PM level doesn't compare to China's, with Tianjin's 106, Shanghai's 89, and Beijing's 160. Essentially, the PM level varies day by day, but it can be influenced by the size of the city and its development. It could be either Tier 1, which is the most developed and includes Beijing and Shanghai, Tier 2, which is Tianjin, where there's more manufacturing, and Tier 3, which are medium-sized cities. Smoggy days did get in the way of some of our pictures, but it made us appreciate more of where we come from and where we live in the United States. Other than the pollution, the Chinese's methods of transportation were scary, yet impressive.
Because of the population in China, personal transportation is hard to come by. The number of cars on the road nearly doubled within a 10-year period, so in 2011, a license plate lottery system was established in China. The system was established to try and combat the increasingly wealthy Chinese from buying cars and filling up the streets with new vehicles that only pollute the air more. The process is designed to ensure that a majority of the people in the country are not able to legally buy a car. Even once you obtain a legal vehicle registration, there are rules on the times you can and cannot drive your car. For example, traffic rules stipulate that smaller city license plates have to stay off roads during rush hour periods to accommodate for those with a Beijing registered plate. The Struggles in obtaining a car are a result of the massive population. There is simply not enough room on the road for everyone in China to have a car. The traffic jams are already bad enough. The longest traffic jam on record was 62 miles long and lasted for 12 days. In order to try and combat this issue, the government established a system where residents must leave their cars at home 1 day per week based on a scheme that involves the last digit of the number on the license plate. As a result, majority of citizens use bicycles or public transportation to get around the city. The Chinese are very creative on how they transport goods using only a bicycle and a few ropes. The public transportation system is well established in China. You can get around the city using subways, buses, and bullet trains. The subway system is the most reliable form of transportation in China because it runs on a schedule. Personal or public transportation above ground can be hindered by traffic or accidents. Public transportation is not consistent here in the United States. In Houston, Texas, public transportation is well below average. With few running buses and no subway system, personal transportation is key to moving about the city. Our time in China was an eye-opening experience that taught us how culture can impact so many different areas of life, whether it is personal or for business. This trip not only taught us more about global supply chain, but it also helped us to better understand the cultural environment in China.